Hello, dear students. This is KIMS, Khanak Institute of Medical Science. Topic: Cell membrane, its composition, structure and function. Certainly. The cell membrane, also known as the plasma membrane, is a fundamental structure in biology that plays a crucial role in the functioning of cells. It serves as a selective barrier, regulating the passage of substances into and out of the cell. For medical students, understanding the composition, structure, and functions of the cell membrane is essential as it forms the basis of various physiological processes. Composition of the cell membrane. The cell membrane is primarily composed of a double layer of phospholipid molecules. These phospholipids have a hydrophilic, water-attracting head and two hydrophobic, water-repelling tails. These molecules arrange themselves in a bilayer, with the hydrophilic heads facing outward towards the aqueous environment and the hydrophobic tails oriented inward, away from water. This lipid bilayer forms the basic framework of the cell membrane. Apart from phospholipids, the cell membrane also contains various proteins, carbohydrates, and cholesterol molecules. Proteins are embedded within the lipid bilayer and can span the entire membrane, integral proteins, or be attached to one side of it, peripheral proteins. Carbohydrates are often linked to proteins, glycoproteins, or lipids, glycolipids, on the extracellular side of the membrane. Structure of the cell membrane. The cell membrane exhibits a fluid mosaic model of structure, implying that it is not a rigid structure but rather a dynamic and flexible arrangement of molecules. The proteins and lipids within the membrane can move laterally, giving the membrane its fluidity. Certainly, I'll provide you with a comprehensive breakdown of the structure of the cell membrane, tailored for medical students. The cell membrane is a complex and dynamic structure that encloses the cell's contents and separates them from the extracellular environment. It is primarily composed of lipids, proteins, and carbohydrates, forming a highly organized structure that performs a range of essential functions for the cell's survival and function. 1. Phospholipid bilayer. The core structural component of the cell membrane is the phospholipid bilayer. Phospholipids are molecules with a hydrophilic, water-loving head and two hydrophobic, water-repelling tails. They spontaneously arrange themselves in a bilayer in an aqueous environment. The hydrophilic heads face outward towards the aqueous solutions both inside and outside the cell, while the hydrophobic tails are oriented inward, forming a nonpolar interior. 2. Proteins. Proteins are embedded within the lipid bilayer and play various roles. Integral proteins. These span the entire membrane, with portions exposed on both the extracellular and intracellular sides. They can function as channels, transporters, receptors, and enzymes. Peripheral proteins. These are attached to the membrane surface, either on the intracellular or extracellular side. They assist in cell signaling, cell adhesion, and other functions. 3. Carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are often attached to proteins, glycoproteins, or lipids, glycolipids, on the extracellular side of the membrane. They play crucial roles in cell recognition, adhesion, and communication. 4. Cholesterol. Cholesterol molecules are interspersed within the lipid bilayer. They help regulate the fluidity of the membrane, ensuring it remains flexible and functional. Fluid mosaic model. The structure of the cell membrane is often described using the fluid mosaic model, emphasizing its dynamic nature. Fluid. The lipids and proteins can move laterally within the membrane, giving it fluidity. This lateral movement allows for interactions, signaling, and transport. Mosaic. The diversity of proteins and other molecules in the membrane resembles a mosaic pattern. Functions of the cell membrane. 1. Selective permeability. One of the most vital functions of the cell membrane is to control the movement of substances in and out of the cell. It is selectively permeable, meaning it allows certain molecules to pass through while restricting the passage of others. This is essential for maintaining the internal environment of the cell and for processes like nutrient uptake, waste elimination, and gas exchange. 2. Cell signaling. The cell membrane is studded with various proteins that play roles in cell signaling. Receptor proteins on the membrane surface interact with specific molecules, such as hormones or neurotransmitters, initiating a series of intracellular events that regulate cell behavior, metabolism, and responses to external stimuli. 3. Cell adhesion. Proteins in the cell membrane contribute to cell adhesion, allowing cells to bind to neighboring cells or to the extracellular matrix. This is crucial for maintaining tissue structure, wound healing, and immune responses. 4. Transport processes. The cell membrane facilitates different modes of transport. Passive transport. This includes simple diffusion, facilitated diffusion, through channel or carrier proteins, and osmosis. These processes allow molecules to move down their concentration gradients without the expenditure of energy. Active transport. This involves the use of energy, usually from ATP, to move molecules against their concentration gradients. Examples include the sodium-potassium pump and other ion pumps. Vesicular transport. This includes endocytosis, bringing substances into the cell, and exocytosis, expelling substances from the cell. These processes involve the formation of vesicles, which are membrane-bound sacs. 5. Maintaining cell shape. The lipid bilayer and associated proteins provide structural support, helping the cell maintain its shape. 6. Barrier function. The lipid bilayer serves as a barrier that prevents the free movement of hydrophilic molecules across the membrane, contributing to the separation of the intracellular and extracellular environments. In the context of medical studies, understanding the cell membrane's functions is essential for comprehending diseases related to membrane transport, cell signaling disorders, immunological responses, and more. A solid grasp of cell membrane structure and function lays the foundation for grasping advanced topics in physiology, biochemistry, and pathology. Subscribe for more video about medical science and updates. Dear students, you can join KIMS_Khanna Institute of Medical Science to build your career in paramedical sectors. Contact us 8271021507 or 6207893093. Thank you for your support.